Welcome back, everybody, to Devil's Advocate with Rosebud Baker. I am your hostess with the mostest, Rosebud Baker, and if you're tuning into this, I am in week 2 of my corona symptoms. They went away for a little while, and then they came back, so we'll see how this goes, but I am not feeling my best, and one thing that I've noticed about this fucking virus is that it makes you stupid. I'm stupid. And I can't pull words from out of the ether. I don't know what words mean anymore. Very short-term memory loss. And anyway, I have notes, and I will be looking at my notes if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you have a problem with that, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. All right. There's bigger problems out there. Mainly that all of our grandparents are dying. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll notice my hair is about 17 different lengths. It's because I have been cutting my own bangs against the recommendation of the CDC and the World Health Organization. I have been cutting my own hair. Anyway, welcome back. I want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to this podcast, who has listened every week, and who have taken the time to rate and review it and let people know what you love about it on iTunes. It truly helps get the visibility of this podcast up and, just lets people know that they should be listening, which is nice because I don't have a career anymore because comedy's dead. And so am I on the inside. Anyway, every time you leave a review, it helps people find out about it. It helps get the podcast charting. It, if the road ever opens up again in, 2026, it'll put food on the table, because it'll be putting asses in seats when they're brave enough to go outside. And if you haven't left a review and you're loving the podcast, please do me a favor, head over to iTunes and just throw one up there. This is just a friendly reminder to do that. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the podcast, we do a segment at the end. I do a segment at the end where I offer bad advice to listeners. The reason why I call it bad advice is because it is bad. It is not good. And I mean, you should listen to it, but for God's sake, do not take it because I'm not in the position to tell anybody how to live. I mean, I for sure got COVID. I don't even know how. And without further ado, that's it. Let me introduce today's guest, my COVID symptoms. That's what I'm going to be talking about. I want to talk about what the fuck this is. And listen, before you ask, I have not been tested. I don't, my symptoms haven't really been bad enough to get tested. And it seems like getting tested is a real fucking hassle. You know that the testing in this country is bad when you'd rather just deal with a virus than get help for it. And it is bad. It is like, I tried reaching out to get tested. I actually had the recommendation of a health professional. A friend of mine who is a nurse practitioner recommended that I get tested. And when I reached out, I got no response back. Nothing. Just zip. It was as if I was reaching out to an ex. And so I just gave up because here's the thing. This fucking thing wipes you out. I am exhausted. I don't have an ounce of motivation. And if you've been dealing with any of the symptoms of COVID, you know that it truly takes all of the energy out of your body. Like, I'm somebody that works out every day. If you took a picture of my body the last 3 weeks and just like played it fast, like one after the other, it would be like watching a cake melt. I mean, it's the saddest thing, what's happening to my physique. And it was this perfect thing. And now it's It looks like a pile of glue. It's sad. It's like Kafka's Metamorphosis, but if I was turning into a waterbed. Anyway, it's fine. I'm fine. The symptoms started to come on about maybe it was like a week and a half ago when I started to feel them, and it just came on as like a sudden fever, like not a high fever, just like a 99.7 or 8, which is like a low grade fever. And some people would be like, oh, that's not even a fever. And technically it's not, but adults' bodies can't really withstand fevers. Like, we're real pussies about it, is what my nurse sister says. And so that was the first thing to hit me. And then I realized I was like exhausted. I couldn't like walk up hills. Like, if you were to watch me running next to Tim Dillon, we would look the same. We would look like we were exerting the same amount of energy. And then I ended up like, I ended up fine after a couple days. I was like, oh, I feel better. I think I'm good. This shouldn't be a problem anymore. I fucking started working out again. I started doing my goddamn circuit training. You know, I love to circuit train, and doing sit-ups, push-ups, just getting swole, like an Olympian, and immediately got sick again. I think I probably lasted like 4 days. I went running, I did my circuit training, and I was immediately out again. Like last night, I got a fever again. I was in the middle of an Instagram live. That's how much my body can handle in terms of physical activity. Holding my phone up is too tiring. So the fact that I'm doing this podcast, honestly, I'm a hero. I'm a goddamn hero. No, I'm not. I don't even know what my job is for anymore. It's peddling jokes at a time like this feels like selling VHS tapes. Like, nobody wants that. What? This isn't the time for you, you know? But here we are. We're doing it, and we're trying. I've noticed that I've been sleeping more than I've ever slept, and that is, I guess, valuable. I'm having some weird fucking dreams, though. I had a weird dream, and I'm going to tell this dream. And you guys, I can't take responsibility for it, okay? But this is what happened in my dream. I was in the back of an Uber driver's car, okay? The Uber driver was Chinese, and he would not let me out of the car. He was quarantining me in his Uber and wouldn't explain why I couldn't get out, wouldn't explain what was going on. He kept going around these corners in New York and being like, no, you can't get out here. It's not safe. You can't get out here. It's not safe. And I was just like, I'm in the back of the Uber just losing my shit. Just being like, this fucking, all my money's going into this guy. I'm giving this guy all my fucking money and he won't give it back. And, finally I was like, you know what? Just drop me off here. I'm going to get out here and I'm going to fucking walk. And then he coughed. No, he didn't cough. He said the word cough, which was passive aggressive. Okay. He fucking said the word cough. He just went cough. And I pulled a gun out in my dream. I pulled out a gun. I held the gun to his head and I said, give me my fucking money, you piece of shit. All right. And if I took that dream to my therapist, I think even my therapist, even Freud would be like, that's a little on the nose. Okay. And it was. I was like, I can't, I feel so, it's racist that the guy was Chinese in my dream. But, that is where the virus came from. So, I don't know. Is it racist? Is it factual? I don't know. But the point is, I can't blame China for the way that the United States has handled this, which is worse than any other country has handled it. We're handling it like shit. And, like Americans, we're obviously acting like we're doing great. It's like you watch Trump and he's like, we're highest in the death polls. he's like celebrating, Some people are like, you guys are being hit the hardest. And he's like, actually, we're winning. It's fucked up. And I don't know what the fuck to do. I want to go back to New York just because I feel bad leaving my home. I feel bad being outside of there, even though I don't know why I want to go back. It's the asshole of the virus. Why would I want to go back there? I don't know, just because I feel like I feel like I abandoned my city, And also, I can't stand LA anymore. I just, if I'm going to be just sitting in my house in LA, I might as well be sitting in my house in New York where I can fucking redecorate. I love to redecorate. I love the idea of using this time to make an accent wall. Okay? Just one accent wall with a little bit of like wallpaper, some funky wallpaper. Ugh, you kidding me? A bookshelf? I love a bookshelf. This is not my bookshelf. I can't take joy in this. It's a rental. I mean, so is mine in New York, but it's a rental that I control. You understand? And I want to be around what I can control right now because the world is losing its shit. I don't know where to look. I don't know if I should look into the lens of my phone or if I should look at my reflection. So if you're watching this on YouTube and my eyes are darting back and forth, it's because I can't pick a focal point. It's a problem. I think I'm going to look into the lens. What else? So I've had some fucking weird dreams, and then I looked up what that's about, and it turns out that a lot of people are having some weird dreams right now. And I saw this article from The Cut, and it said the spike in dream recall is a side effect of the slower-paced lifestyle some non-essential workers are now leading. First of all, podcasting was determined an essential business in Los Angeles. But we definitely lead slower-paced lifestyles. Changing one's routine dramatically often leads to more dream recall, she says. This is the expert that they were asking about, that they were asking for a quote from. Especially when the new routine involves more sleep. The American population runs around sleep deprived, and while some are now struggling to sleep, I hear more people who, both because their workaholic activities are interrupted and their partying is on hold, they're sleeping more. I think that's probably the single biggest factor in all this dream recall. So-called REM rebound could also play a role. When we are catching up on missed sleep, we can experience a surge in rapid eye movement sleep, the phase in which most dreaming occurs. So yeah, I have been having a lot of crazy, vivid dreams. The first of which, when I was being held in quarantine in the back of a Chinese driver's Uber. Deeply ashamed of that dream. But, I'm here to be honest. I also had weird dreams about where people are just bleeding everywhere. There's been a lot of bleeding in my dreams. The obvious question for hacks is, are you on your period? No, I'm not. I'm just dreaming of people bleeding like a fucking psychopath. And I'm so glad. This is a real left turn, but I'm so glad I fucking got engaged before this thing started. 'Cause goddamn it. I mean, it's the perfect time to just start a normal fucking life. I'll tell you that. 'Cause comedy's not going to be back till 2021. I mean, Live Nation posted something about how they're not rescheduling any tour dates till 2021. And that, my friends, is when you hit the panic button if you're a comedian. But luckily, I have a working womb and a ring on my finger. So I'm going to have 5 kids before this is over. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. Okay? You don't think I'm going to do it? Listen to all the things I've done in quarantine. Okay? I've gotten engaged. I've dyed my fiance's hair. I've cut my own bangs. I've adopted a puppy. And I joined TikTok. What the fuck have you done? Huh? I've also basically finished Netflix. I mean, I've seen everything on Netflix. At least part of everything. I did not watch Tiger King. I am so glad that phase of the quarantine is over where everybody was watching the same thing. I mean, obviously we're still making like jokes about it on Twitter, but I couldn't watch that. Couldn't watch that show. If you liked that show, you're a fucking psychopath. Okay? I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know how you can watch a bunch of fucking tigers being held in cages. But for me, I'm already being held in captivity. I don't need to watch a helpless animal do it with me to feel better. Okay? You're crazy. If you liked that show, you need fucking help. I also just don't like, if we're in captivity, if we're all like being isolated, why do we need a group activity? You know? Why do we need a worldwide group activity? Why does everyone need to weigh in on the same thing? What is that? I mean, I understand that humans are pack animals, but I don't understand why we need something to like all talk about at the same time. Because it's gonna be Thanksgiving dinner, okay? That's how that's gonna end. And if your Thanksgiving dinners end well, then you're not gonna understand that reference. But if you're like my family, everyone's gonna be screaming and crying at the end. Okay? There's a lot of women in my home. Speaking of women, my mom has been telling me to raw dog it. Yeah, that's a new one. She's been sending me texts about having kids and asking me to focus on maybe a quarantine baby. I got a dog basically to get that question away from me. But now I'm getting the same thing from Andy's mom. They're both like, hey, so when are the grandchildren coming? I'm like, first of all, we're not even fucking married. Second, why do you want a grandkid when I can't drive to a hospital without a mask on? What? Come on. I know you're bored, but don't put it on me. I'm bored too. That being said, I have been raw dogging it, and it does feel good. It feels better. It's just weird. It's weird to have your mom be like, make sure you wash your hands and also don't wear a condom. It's bizarre. It's not a side effect I expected from the afterworld. But it also kind of felt hypocritical before when it was like the other way around. When she was like telling me to practice safe sex, and I'm like, your womb was a tennis ball machine. Okay, you were having kids every 5 minutes. But I don't know. Yeah, it feels like having a kid right now, I go back and forth about it. It feels like it does make sense because I'm ready to end my life as I know it, but I'm not brave enough to kill myself. So that does make a little bit of sense, you know. Might as well. God, thank God my therapist doesn't listen to this podcast. He'd be really concerned right now. It's strange to be with somebody through all this, because if you're not fighting with your significant other, you're fucking up. If you're like a couple that's like, no, everything's great, we get along, everything's good, you just started fucking that person, if that's the way this is going for you. Because it's not good. I mean, listen, I love my fiance. I love Andy. He's fucking great. We have so much fun together. But sometimes I wake up and the tenor of his voice makes me want to kill myself. All right? Okay? And that's okay. I think if you're in a couple right now and you are fine with your significant other being attacked by a bear, that's okay. That's like actually normal right now. Even the sound of like his fork hitting a plate upsets me, and that's just him nourishing himself. So I don't know. I have no choice but to think that that's normal. Okay, because the other option is to accept that I'm losing my mind, and I'm not ready to do that. Okay, not until week 5, which is going to be a treat for you guys. I love doing these solo podcasts because it truly is like, it sounds like the video diary of a woman who is, is going to end up driving off a cliff at some point soon, but she doesn't know it yet. Also, if you're in a couple and, no, wait, hold on. What did my notes say? This is where the corona gets in. I swear to God, like I'll be fine and I'll be on the right track. And then all the thoughts that I had lined up to make a full story, to like arc, it just goes away. Like all memory recall is out the window. And certain words, I truly, like easy words, I cannot, it's like hacking through a jungle to try to fucking form a sentence. Anyway, I do have people, I'll complain sometimes about being quarantined with my soon-to-be husband. I can't say fiance. It just feels like it feels like a woman who goes to high tea every day. But I'll be complaining about him, and then I'll be talking to a friend who's single, and they'll be like, well, at least you're with somebody, and then they'll start in on how sad it is to be alone in the middle of this. And I'm like, here's the thing, and you guys are not going to take this well, but if you are complaining about being alone in the middle of this pandemic, about just being single, you deserve to be single. Okay? Sorry. Nobody wants the responsibility of keeping you fucking happy in the middle of this. It's too much responsibility. The way that and I've noticed it, because here's the thing, I do the same shit. Like I'll be on my phone, and then Andy will go on his phone. And the second he goes on his phone, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing going on your phone? And he's doing the same thing I'm doing. He's just trying to disappear for a little while, right? And I'm like, I see myself trying to like get his attention so that I don't feel like I have to be with my thoughts. And that is the behavior of someone who does not deserve to be with anybody. So the reason why I'm saying that is because I fucking relate to the mindset, because I've been there. And it's fine to realize during this time that like, oh, I think I might be ready for a boyfriend after this. But if you're like legitimately feeling sorry for yourself, like as if someone else is going to make this particular moment in history better for you, this is too big of a moment in history for anyone to make it better. And I just want you to know that if you're alone, it's not harder, okay? It's the same level of hard, because no matter what, you have to be with yourself. Like if you were in a relationship and you thought, oh, at least I wouldn't have to be alone with my thoughts. It's like the thoughts that you have to be alone with, you should be alone with those. Like even if you're sitting next to someone, if it's a thought that makes you go, I got to get out of myself, just sit with that thought, okay? Don't put it on the other person, because they don't want to hear it either. It's too much. anyways, I am a couples therapist. But I only specialize in couples who are interested in breaking up. So, if you're in a couple and you would like a couples therapy session and you need someone to be like, hey, break up, I'm your gal. I'm here for you and I will help. I was thinking about this disease and I'm like, there's a lot of things that, I talked about it on the last solo episode I did where it's like, this is bringing up a lot of shit for everybody that I think it's actually good. But I was talking to a friend this week and she was like, I heard that when you're in quarantine, the habits that you have as a person, like the crutches that you lean on in regular life, tend to get worse. And I think we've seen that in domestic abuse situations. A lot of people are ending up calling in to domestic abuse hotlines. Those calls have gone up like 80% or something like that. And all I gotta say is thank fucking God I'm not in one of those situations anymore, because holy shit. You think being home and stuck at home is bad, but being stuck at home with somebody who will hurt you is terrifying. I remember being in a situation with my ex-boyfriend. And he was in the shower, and I remember Googling how to, I was Googling women's shelters that also took dogs because I wanted to take my dog with me. And then he got out of the shower and I was like, it was like enough of a situation just to be Googling that. Like it was like admitting to myself that I was in danger was scary enough. So to anyone who's in like, if you're listening to this and you are in a situation like that, I want you to know, it seems impossible to leave. It seems like almost like it's just unfathomable to you to leave. But I want you to know that the second that you do it, it does get better. And even if you're in a situation where you are the only one on the lease, okay, and he doesn't even belong there, you can you can leave and you can get him out of there. But the first thing you have to do is to leave. You got to get out of your own place and you got to get away from him. So, because that was something that I kept getting caught up on, is like, why should I leave if it's my place and he doesn't fucking pay rent? And it doesn't matter. It's like you just deal with the problem. Anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh, God damn it. I went down a real dark road there. But I did want to say that. Oh, yeah. So I was talking about impulse control and like, so one of my biggest problems now is impulse control. Okay. And, I feel like for the most part, I had gotten it pretty, I had leveled out. All right. I was good. I would say that my biggest problem with impulse control is vaping for sure. And, I tend to adopt animals in an impulsive way. I hadn't done that for about 3 years. And, this week I relapsed. I adopted a little baby puppy. Her name is Mouse. She's the smallest thing I've ever seen in my goddamn life. She's so small. I could snap her neck. I could snap her neck by picking her up. Okay? That's how tiny she is. And like we were on a walk in Elysian Park today. I put her in the hood of my sweatshirt. Okay? And I just carried her around in the hood of my sweatshirt. And she didn't even pull the neck back. Like, she's so small. She's a mouse. So, and she's been great. She's been like the best part of this quarantine besides all the fucking, unsafe sex I've been having. Hell yeah. And I love her so much. If you're thinking about adopting a dog, now's a good time to do it. Unless you're in a domestic abuse situation, in which case, do not get a dog. Do not. Because if you think that your dude or girl, it depends, domestic abuse does affect men as well. And I say that because when I fucking tweeted out something and I said that like dozens of women and children are in trouble, I had a couple guys pop up and just let me know that they needed to be included. And listen, I'm not, what's up, Andy? Oh, that's okay. No, he's the poor guy. We're like walking on eggshells around each other. It is so... I feel bad because I've been so fucking snappy. It's like, he's not even being annoying. He's not. My fiance is a fucking dream dude. He's like so sweet. And then the way he chews will make me want to fucking die. I'm just like, blech. I don't know. And I'm not hormonal. I'm not nothing. It's just, I'm just bored, And I think there's like a general malaise that's happening like across the country now where we're like, it's been 30 days and we're all just like, okay, how many people are going to die if we go back? Huh? Okay, can we choose? Can we pick them? We're starting to make... we're starting to bargain, right? It's like the bargaining part of the grief process. I truly am like, I'll trade a list to do one set a week with the devil. That's where I'm at. I started this whole thing thinking, I might be sort of a good person in my heart. But now... I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I'm not feeling too good. I mean, I'm trying. Every day I wake up and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to be nice. I'm just going to try not to, I'm going to try not to like hold my breath before I tell someone to move, I'm going to try to just be a calm person. But it's like, then my mom calls and she's telling a story that goes on too long. And I just want a giant bird to swoop up and fucking just take me somewhere. I'm like, I would be fine if a pterodactyl flew into my eye right now, beak first, and just took out whatever portion of my brain has to listen to this fucking story. So, there's so many messages too. Then there's people that are like, just be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Let yourself be. I'm like, if I let myself be, I'm going to end up cutting myself. Okay? Some people, when they let themselves be, when they just let themselves go, they do damage to their relationships. Some of us are not cut out for just letting ourselves be. In order to function as an adult in society, the amount of self-control that I have to practice on a daily basis is tantamount to a fucking monk. All right? That's how hard I'm working to try to be a peaceful person. And I still end up having to apologize to somebody at the end of the day, every single day. So, Sorry, I had to restart the video because my manager called. If you're watching on YouTube, he's probably calling to tell me that another gig is canceled. I love my manager so much. I like the fact that he fucking still calls me in the middle of this is amazing. I'm like, he has no reason to. It's like there's a couple things that we have in the works, but it's not, just the fact that he still takes an interest is like so nice. I should be giving him fucking, I don't know. Maybe I could just maybe I should give him 10% of my therapy sessions because he ends up listening to such horse shit from me that he should get 10 minutes of my therapy just for him. He should get my therapist. Not that anything's working. I'm definitely fucking spinning out. Trying to think of what else has happened since the last time I talked to you guys. I think I probably wrote some shit down. Who knows? I bought a bunch of fucking crafts. I bought a bunch of arts and crafts. I don't know why. Why would I make art? What's that for? Why are we crafting right now? What are we going to make a collage of all the things we remember from a life that we'll never see again? No, I literally bought 300. I went to Staples because Michael's was closed, and I went to Staples and I bought $300 in cash, like I was doing a drug deal. I bought glitter. I bought Mod Podge glue. I bought sponges. I bought artist sponges. I have all this stuff here. Look at that. I bought all these. I bought 3 layers of markers. I can't draw. I came home. I opened up the markers. I was like, oh, right, I can't draw. I truly am bad at drawing. So what did I think I was going to do with those? Write letters? I bought this gigantic watercolor pad to do watercolors with. Hold on. I got a gigantic stackable organizer for all my crafting. Charcoal, stickers. I bought a brush set. Oh my God, I bought acrylics. I'm just looking back at this like I was in a blackout. I can't even remember the shit I bought. This is crazy. Who did I think I was? I got a fucking, you know what? This was a good purchase. I got an X-Acto knife. This I might need. But the rest of this shit, I don't know who I thought I was while I was doing this. What happened to me? I thought for a while, I was like, I'm a strong person. I'm not. I am weak. I'm a weak person. I cannot be bored for even a minute. Or I start to try to reinvent myself in embarrassing ways. And that's what's happening. I don't know what's happening with my bangs. It looks like I have a bowl cut. Okay? The front of my head looks like a bowl cut and the back of my head looks like a mullet. I'm so embarrassed at the choices I'm making and I can't stop myself. I could write a script, but why would I do that? Who's gonna make it? How are we gonna shoot it? I could do an animated script. Who's gonna fucking pay for that? We're all going broke. My friend asked me today, he goes, as an American, what do you think is gonna happen? He's Canadian. He was like, what do you think is gonna happen with America? You got Trump in office saying everything's gonna be fine, saying we're all gonna go back to work. And I told him, I was like, I think we are going to go broke. I don't know what my dog's barking at. I think he just knows that I said poverty. And he's worried that he's not going to eat again. But yeah, I was like, can you just shut up? Do you need to howl for a second? Do you want to howl? Come over here. Oh! You done? All done? That's it. Okay, we're done. Good boy, Charlie. Come here. Come here. Don't worry. You're always going to be fed. We'll always have food on the table for you, okay? I swear to God. If I don't have food, you can eat me yourself. That's how much I love this dog. I would let him eat my fucking arm off. I would. And he would do it. He would do it just so that we could be one. That's how much he loves me. Some people might say, hey, your dog doesn't really love you because he would eat you if you died in 5 minutes. I think he's just trying to merge with me. The only way he knows how. In the back of his animal brain. I think that's probably a sufficient level of insanity for today. We could see if we got any emails from the Bad Advice records. Hold on a second here. As you guys know, we do a segment at the end of this podcast called Bad Advice. It is called Bad Advice because it is bad. Hold on. And if you guys want to ask any bad advice, you can email me at DevilsAdvocatePod.Atc@gmail.com. And you can ask me some bad advice. Let's see. I think I already wrote this. Or I already did this one. Hold on. Let's see here. Sorry, you guys. I'm sorry for the slow thing. Yeah, we don't have any new bad advice questions. So if you guys want, you should fucking email me because I think either they didn't go through to this or there's one, but I don't think that's appropriate for the fucking podcast. So I don't want to do that. Anyway, you guys can write in to DevilsAdvocatePod.Atc@gmail.com. Give me some questions you got. Keep the questions short because otherwise they just get too long and it ends up taking too much time and it's too complicated. But I am certainly... Oh, fuck. I just got sucked into my email. I just did to this podcast what I've been doing to my relationship for the last 4 weeks, which is dissociating from it. Anyway, it's fun to give bad advice. I love it. And honestly, even if you guys just want to send me fucking emails about what you think about the podcast and thoughts that you're having during the quarantine, I'm going to be doing a couple more of these solo pods because I just love doing them and they're fun for me and I don't have to deal with Zoom. I fucking hate Zoom. I truly don't. I don't like it. It is unnatural. Although, that being said, I thought having Ron on here was really fun and he was a great guest. And if you guys have guest recs, people you want to hear on the pod, you can write in with that. So that's about it. You guys make sure this week that you leave a review on iTunes. Make sure that you rate the podcast, subscribe to it if you've been enjoying it, if you're not subscribed already, and write in your questions at DevilsAdvocatePod.Atc@gmail.com. Oh, we're also on Instagram now. So it's DevilsAdvocate.Atc, or DevilsAdvocatePod.Atc. It's the same as the Gmail account. So you can follow us on Instagram, DevilsAdvocatePod.Atc. Thanks so much, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I love you. Stay safe. Stay inside. Don't yell at your loved ones. Give them a lot of slack if you can. Take deep breaths, but wash your hands and make sure you got a mask on because there's germs out there and they're trying to kill you.